Hi everybody, my name is Casey Wynn and I'm currently in Houston, Texas attending a blockchain conference called Discover Blockchains. Houston is a major city in the state of Texas and here beside me is Michalis Fragkiadakis. He's the chief hack investigator at Exodus, and when I was looking at the lineup, the agenda, his speaking slot, he's a speaker at the event, and his slot popped out to me because his tagline is, "Crypto security is just like sex. It's better when you know what you're doing." And I was like, okay, it's going to be an interesting talk. And so, Michalis, thank you for taking the time out of your day to sit with me. I know you've had a very busy day. You spoke at the event, and it was a great talk, but I, again, really do appreciate you sitting down to chat with me.
Well, thank you for having me. And I hope you actually enjoyed the talk.
I really did.
And it lived up to your expectations.
Right, it did. And so to get started, can you give me a little background on yourself?
Yes. I have studied physics, and I have a master's degree in nuclear physics. After that, though, I kind of abandoned that area, and I studied acting.
Acting?
Yeah.
How did you jump from physics to acting?
Well, that's that's a good question, actually. It was by chance, basically, and because it was something different from what I was doing, and at that time in my life, I wanted to, something to change.
New.
Exactly. I was a professional actor, and I still am from time to time, until about a year ago that I basically rediscovered Bitcoin, because I knew about Bitcoin but never had really engaged.
Rediscovered, what do you mean by rediscovered?
I mean that I have heard about it, I have read a little bit about Bitcoin, but I never, actually owned. I never got into the space to find out what it is until basically last year.
Last year, and why didn't you jump into the space when you first heard about it?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I heard of mining, and I thought, okay, that's something interesting, and it piqued my interest, but it wasn't so widely adopted, and the onboarding wasn't so easy as it is today. You couldn't just go on Coinbase or some other exchange and buy crypto with your fiat. So yeah, I saw a couple of documentaries, I read a little bit about it, and at the time I thought, yeah, that's way too complicated, I don't want to get into that.
You thought it was complicated then, it's less complicated now?
Less, yes.
Still a little complicated, you would say, but not as complicated as it used to be. It's made progress.
Yes, definitely.
And so you got back into it last year?
Yeah.
2017?
Yeah, about that time. It was July or August, I think, of 17.
What made you get back in? What piqued your interest this time?
Well, I was looking into, again, it was coincidental. I had taken some courses online on programming, and out of nowhere, they sent me an email about investing in crypto. And I was like, okay, let's have a look. And I took this course, I learned a little bit about it, I bought some Bitcoin, okay, let's get into it, let's see what this is all about. And after that, I started, like most people do, like, okay, let's invest, let's make some money out of crypto, But as I learned more about the blockchain and the technology itself, and working for Exodus came pretty quickly, I was enchanted, to be honest, by the technology.
You're not the first person who's told me that.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing it has happened to a lot of people.
What about the technology enchanted you, though?
Well, first of all, the decentralization and the fact that you can own your own money, be your own bank, and transact without any intermediaries. Well, that's just revolutionary, right?
Right.
Because we have a sense that, okay, I have my money in the bank, and it's my money, but really it isn't, though. You don't have it in your pocket. It's your money if you keep it under the mattress or in a safe in your home. But other than that, it's not really your money. With crypto, though, it is really your money.
But with crypto, it's a digital asset,
Yeah.
correct? What happens if something happens in the coding of it and it just disappears? There's no getting that back.
Well, the thing is that as crypto is decentralized and it's open source, there is no one that can say, okay, I own the source code, so I'm going to change it around a little bit and make all your money mine or make it disappear. So there is no such bug in the code, at least that...
Not that you know of
Yeah,
yet?
that I know of, and that the crypto community knows of, that can make the money just disappear.
Right.
And the thing is that Bitcoin itself has evolved through the years. All the new altcoins, cryptocurrencies that have come out are an evolution, and they have built upon Bitcoin. But the foundation is there, and it's immutable, as is the blockchain immutable. From the first white paper that Satoshi
Right.
Nakamoto published, that set the foundation of the public ledger and decentralization. Well, everything has built on that, and that foundation is solid. So it's not like we can wake up one morning and everything is gone, because I have a ledger, you have a ledger, everybody has the ledger, and if I lose mine, you can say, okay, but I have a copy.
Mine.
Yeah, I have
Right.
the copy here, and that has all the transactions that have ever happened, and I can validate that you have this much money, and the other guy has this much money, and goes on and goes on.
With that, you got back into the space last year.
Yes.
How'd you get connected with Exodus?
Again, coincidentally. Life is just a series of coincidences, right? Well, I was using the wallet. I enjoyed the wallet.
The Exodus wallet?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a desktop wallet.
It's a software wallet. It's a light wallet, meaning that you don't have to download the whole blockchain on your computer, but it syncs with servers that has the information of the blockchain. And yeah, I was using the wallet, and I got on the page. I was browsing around it, and I saw jobs, customer support. Okay, yeah, why not? I sent an email, and they got me. They hired me. And that was it, basically. And I have learned so much.
So much?
Yeah.
Ever since you started there?
Yeah.
What's the one thing you could pick out that you think is the most important thing that you've learned from working with Exodus?
How to protect my money.
And that brings us to the topic of
Yeah.
privacy.
Yes.
And that's what you talked about during your whole speech. And I appreciate that. Like you said, crypto security is just like sex. It's better when you know what you're doing.
Mhm.
Most people, beginners, people who want to get into the space because they see a price jump or something, or they just have the fear of missing out and want to get in and position themselves in. But they don't know much about security reasons or privacy reasons, how serious of a matter it is. Can you delve a little deep on that?
Yes, definitely. The big revolution of the blockchain is that you own your money.
Mm-hmm.
Like Andreas Adonopoulos says, your keys, your Bitcoin. Not your keys, not your Bitcoin. What that means is that what the miners need to validate a transaction and add it to the blockchain is a signature with the private keys.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever has the private keys has ownership of the funds in that address.
Right.
People don't really get that. We come from the legacy financial system with the banks where we are used to someone else holding our money for us. And actually having control over your funds, which is actually our motto at Exodus, manage your future wealth. That is something that people don't quite understand until they delve and read about the blockchain and find out that, hey, yeah, I can actually take my private keys, my wallet, my computer, and move across the globe and have the same access that I have right now.
You can move anywhere.
Anywhere.
Anywhere, as long as you have your wallet, access to your wallet and your privacy keys.
Yes, exactly. Your private keys are what guarantees access to your funds. But this also means that you have the responsibility of protecting these private keys. When you're your own bank, you have a responsibility to act like one security-wise.
Right.
Banks have vaults, have guards, have insurances, have all kinds of stuff. Well, you don't need all that, obviously, but you do need to protect your computer because crypto is digital, like I said in the presentation, and you have to acknowledge the specific factors of that digital nature. If somebody gets access to your computer where your private keys are stored, then your funds are gone.
So there's one thing there's a slide you did during the talk, and it's crypto is digital.
Yeah.
And so would you essentially state the question, would you keep your privacy keys on iCloud in your email? A picture? Would you take a picture of it and leave it on your cloud? Or would you write it down on a piece of paper?
Yes.
What's your best advice?
Well, write it down, obviously.
And why is that?
Because you may think that your computer is impenetrable because you never actually thought about its security, but because crypto is digital and your private keys or your 12-word phrase, your mnemonic phrase that give access to all your private keys, if somebody gets hold of it, then they have access to all your funds. And if it's stored on your computer, it's stored on the cloud. A malware can get to it. If it's on your phone, it's on the cloud. A malware also can get to your phone.
And what's a malware?
Well, it's a piece of software like a virus that you can download or get from pirated software, suspicious sites, Trojan horse, exactly. Or if you're targeted, somebody will get it on your computer. Exactly, a hacker. Documents, spreadsheets, all that kind of stuff. They have macros that can do nasty stuff on your computer. All these things can give access to attackers, to hackers. And so if you have stored your information on Dropbox, on iCloud, generally on the cloud, on your phone, it's vulnerable. Because your information there is vulnerable. It can be hacked. So the simple thing to do, write down your 12 words on a piece of paper. Nobody can digitally...
But you have to put it somewhere secure.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, you have to keep it secure, definitely. Actually, our advice is write it down on 2 pieces of paper. Keep one in a secret and safe location, perhaps a safe in your house, and the other one in a different location, in a vault, in a bank, buried in the ground, somewhere that if something happens to one copy, you have the other.
Right. And only you know where it's at.
Yes, definitely.
And so before we move on a little bit more, I wanted to backtrack a little. You're known as the Chief Hack Investigator.
Yes.
What exactly does the Chief Hack Investigator do?
Well...
You're talking about hackers. You're a hacker?
No, I'm not a hacker. What we do, what I do in Hack Force One, that's the name of the team at Exodus, is that when a customer of ours is hacked and they reach out to us, we try to find first how the hack happened, what went wrong in their security steps that gave access to their private information.
So you're like the investigator in a crime scene show?
Basically, yes.
And you dig deep into it?
As deep as we can. It's not easy, but we try to, to find out in order to help them protect their assets better going forward. And actually, this is something that I always admire when I come across a customer that says, damn, this happened to me, but it will make me stronger and I will take this as a lesson to improve my security because I can see where I did wrong and now I can do better going forward. And at the future, when I have much more money than that I lost now, I will be secure.
So it's a learning lesson for them?
For some of them, yes. For others, is disheartening, and unfortunately, some of our customers that have lost funds, they stop, dealing with crypto.
Most of the investigations that you've done, are they preventable?
Yes. I would say I would say all of them.
What's the number one reason why, the most common reason why somebody loses their funds?
Because they leave their 12 words somewhere where a hacker can get to it. That one, malware, because if you have malware on your computer, then it's game over, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And the password and the backup link. The backup link is something unique to Exodus. That we send this link that with your password you can restore your wallet, because we have found that people sometimes they don't write down their 12 words. They just go over this step, they don't really know what it's about, and something happens to the computer and they're like, hey, where did my money go? I reinstalled Exodus and it wasn't there. And we're like, do you have your 12 words? No. Do you have your backup link and password? Hopefully, most of the times they say yes.
Mm-hmm.
So in these cases, the backup link has saved their money. But because the backup link is in your email, in itself is unhackable, or at least extremely, virtually impossible to brute force, but your password, in most cases, is easily to get access to. Because most people use the same password for everything.
What's your solution to that?
Password managers.
A password manager? What is a password manager?
Well, a password manager is an application that encrypts the passwords that you store in it, and it also suggests random passwords. You can have like up to 64 random characters.
And it will generate passwords for you?
Yeah, they generate the password and they remember the password and they store it encrypted. So all you have to do is remember that one password. And you use
one password to get access to
the password manager. Yes, exactly. And in that way, if one password gets compromised somehow, besides that they are being unbelievably strong, I mean 64 random characters, it would take several times the age of the known universe to crack. Besides that though, if one password is somehow compromised, it doesn't compromise all your other accounts.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if somebody gets access to my Facebook password, for example, since it's not the same to my
It's all different passwords.
Exactly.
So not only get a password manager to protect your passwords, but also generate different passwords for every single account?
Definitely. Definitely. That's one of the huge advantages of password managers, that you can generate random, unique passwords for everything that you don't have to remember.
Would you recommend updating your passwords?
Yeah, it's a good strategy from time to change all your passwords, especially if you have the slightest suspicion that something fishy is going on. Change the password.
How frequently?
Well, with a password manager, I would say you don't have to do it so frequently. But yeah, once every couple of months is a good strategy to do a makeover, let's say, and go through all your accounts and change your passwords. But if you have unique, strong passwords like that, and if you use 2FA, then
2FA is
you're solid.
Two-factor
authentication, yeah.
And so what we were talking about earlier, malwares and stuff, I actually talked to one of the team members on Exodus before. His name is Philip Borsha.
Yeah, Philip.
And great guy. He gave me a piece of advice that stuck with me. And I've mentioned it before. He told me your desktop wallet is only as safe as your desktop.
Yes, exactly.
What's an advice you could give to people whose desktops are not secure or they think it's secure to prevent malwares, viruses, Trojans?
Well, basically the most solid advice to make sure that your computer is clean is to be careful of what you do online. Safe browsing. Antiviruses are great, but they are not always effective. They cannot track everything. They can only find threats they know about and some patterns, but that's it. If you download pirated material, for example, you don't know what you are downloading. You don't know what is hidden in the code. So you may be installing a software, a game, or whatever that you didn't pay for, and okay, you saved a few bucks, but you may be installing all kinds of backdoors and
You don't know
malwares.
what's going in.
Exactly, because you don't know what the cracker or hacker that broke the program put into there, and not visiting suspicious sites, not opening random links, not opening links from people that you don't know. Somebody sent you a link, you don't click on it. Why would? Okay, you want to see that
It's
dog.
like telling a kid not to eat the cookie.
Yeah, don't take candies from strangers. You just have to see that dog on Facebook. Well, don't. Why? Why would you compromise your security in your wallet to click on a link that you don't know where it's coming from? So yeah, I would say that your online activity is the number one thing that you can do to protect your computer. Because yeah, Philip was 100% right. If you have malware on your computer, then it's a done deal. Your wallet is only as secure as the computer it resides on. And that's true for all software wallets.
So, and I'm glad you've mentioned that for all software wallets. So, Exodus is a desktop wallet, and then there's such thing as a hardware wallet.
Yes.
Would you recommend getting one over the other? Would you recommend both?
Each one has its advantages and disadvantages. For long-term holding, for large amounts, yeah, I would recommend a hardware wallet because at the moment it's the safest standard in the industry. Because the private keys that control your funds never come in touch with the outside world. They are stored within the secure chip of the hardware wallet. But it's not so easy. It's not so handy, you know. So a software wallet is definitely, Exodus most of all, is definitely much more easy to use. And you can transact more easily, more directly. You can exchange from right within the wallet. So I would compare it to your wallet, basically, and to the safe at home. You would put
your wallet goes
in your pocket. You use it daily. You take it out. You pay. You put it back in. While in the safe in your home, you hold the big chunk of money that you have.
But is a desktop wallet like a wallet where you could bring everywhere?
Well, yes, it's not as mobile as a mobile wallet, but yeah, definitely. I have my computer in my room right now, and I can transact, I can exchange, I can do everything.
From anywhere in the world?
Yes, definitely. As long as I have an internet connection, yes.
That's amazing. And throughout your whole speech, you went through topics of protecting your privacy with topics like password managers, securing your privacy keys, and all of that. But I noticed that you missed out on checksums.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit on that?
Definitely. Well, it's only so much that you can talk in 25 minutes, yes. Well, checksums is basically a built-in feature of cryptography, where the same key, the same address, includes basically an error checking mechanism to make sure that the address you are inputting to send to is actually correct. Bitcoin addresses have checksums right built into it. So if you put an address that is not valid, if I paste an address and change one number, the checksum won't match. And the address will be invalid, and Exodus is one of the wallets that will tell you, yeah, that's wrong. For Ethereum addresses, that's basically if you have seen addresses where everything is small letters and you have addresses with mixed capitalization, small and capital letters, the mixed capitalization have checksums. The all small letters don't. So if you change something in an address with all small letters, there is no way to check that it is correct. And you may inadvertently send money to basically to a black hole.
And so that's the difference? All small letters don't have checksums.
Yeah.
The ones with unique different letters.
The ones that have both small and capital, upper and lowercase, yeah. They are checksum addresses. So if you change something there, will go will go off, and it will tell you that that's not a valid address.
Would you automatically get suspicious though if you had an address with just all small letters?
Well, I wouldn't say get suspicious, but I would triple and quadruple check it to make sure that it's actually correct.
Right.
In fact, if, for example, we have a feature in Exodus that if you scan a QR code that the address is not checksum, it pops up a warning. It says, triple check it, because we cannot verify if it's correct. And if something goes wrong with the QR code and even one letter or one number is not read correctly, then you will send your funds to basically nowhere.
And you won't get it back.
Yeah, you won't get it back.
So Exodus has a feature that pops up to tell people as another safety precaution measure,
Yes.
like, hey, check your address again.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
And
And actually, we did a reach out to many exchanges that didn't use checksum addresses to, plead with them to please change to checksum addresses, because people lose their money by sending funds to nowhere.
Right. And so the last question I have for you is, we went through all the security measures, most of the security measures, not all, obviously there's a lot. And so there's a lot of new people who are interested in getting into the space, but they don't know where to start, or they don't know where to begin, or like me in the very beginning, I want to get into Bitcoin. Seems interesting, but then there's all this jargon, all this definitions or words that I don't know the definition of, or I'm just not educated enough. How do I get educated to take that first initiative step?
Well, there are many resources. I would say I haven't found, to be honest, I haven't found a comprehensive course that would take you from step 1 to step 10, where they actually talk about crypto and not, how to invest and how to make money, but about the technology, about what is private keys, what are public keys, what are mnemonic seeds, what are, addresses, all that stuff that I think that, what is the blockchain, right? And how does it work, how a transaction works. All that stuff, there are bits and pieces, and if somebody searches on YouTube, for example, or on the internet, they will find information. Bitcoin Wiki, for example, is a great resource, as is our very own knowledge base. If people go to support.exodus.io, they will find a plethora of articles, not only about Exodus, but generally about the blockchain. And
you guys want to educate people so that it become user-friendly.
Exactly. The wallet, hopefully, it's user-friendly, but there is so much going on behind the interface that you are seeing and clicking send to the other side of the world some money, that I really feel that people should be educated on before diving more deeply. And with regard to security, specifically, we wrote a very thorough guide called "How Do I Keep My Money Safe," which whoever wants can find on support.exodus.io.
I'll provide that link in the description below for you guys if you're interested.
Thank you. It's basically, if you follow that guide, you will have become a security master and have built a digital
It'll make me become an expert in security.
I don't know what an expert is. Define expert, but you will definitely learn a lot and see. And perhaps I'm guessing that as somebody reads it and will be like, I hadn't thought of that. That's really good advice. And hopefully, by educating people, we can make them interested in the blockchain. We can help them stay safe. Adapt, exactly. And, transition slowly from the legacy financial system to this new revolutionary financial system.
Michalis, thank you for finding the time and sitting down with me. I really do appreciate it, and I've enjoyed not only your speech, but the talk we've had now.
Well, I have enjoyed it as well, and it's glad to hear that it resonated with you on some level. Thank you very much.